It's
All
live.
right. Yep, we're live. All right, guys and gals, we're live with Josh Holt, co-founder of My Race Pass. I appreciate him coming on tonight. Josh, give us a little background. I know I'll start off. I think I've been with you guys, had a website. We was talking about that before we entered here. I think about 7 or 8 years. I mean, I remember you when you probably had a handful of websites and stuff, and man, you've really grown into a huge deal now. Kind of give us a little background on yourself and My Race Pass.
Well, it can be kind of a long story, but I'll make it short. There's 3 of us involved with My Race Pass, the 3 founders, myself, Ross Van Eck, and Zach Kelmus. The 3 of us, they're the smart ones. They're the back end developers. They're the ones that make all the good stuff happen. And the 3 of us got together back in the fall of 2007 about doing websites for race car drivers and, what we could maybe do. If you remember back then, I mean, Facebook was really kind of taking off, and we kind of had the idea of, maybe we could build a Facebook for motorsports, but we knew we couldn't do that overnight. We knew we needed a footprint in the industry. And we started, my background was sprint car racing, raced go-karts when I was a kid, raced sprint cars for a lot of years. And so I knew a lot of the sprint car guys, and marketing and business was my background. So it was a good fit for the 3 of us. We made a good little tripod, if you want to call it that. And Zach and Ross are excellent at what they do. And so we started doing websites, and My Race Pass was always the goal, with the app and how everything works, having a race management system, having promoters utilize the software for that. But like I said, we needed a footprint in the industry. We needed people to know who we were and trust us and that kind of stuff. So we started a company called Driver Websites in 2008. And fast forward quite a bit, I took on the racetrack in Rock Rapids, Iowa in 2012. And that was a good learning curve for us. Me as a promoter with my dollar, we had, Zach and Ross was there, and just kind of learning what we needed to do for racetracks, how we can streamline things, make things better, try to bring technology into our industry a little bit on that side. And it was a good semester of school, so to speak. And that kind of developed our race management system. And then we fast forward a little bit further, we bought a company called SpeedNet. It's been around for 15 years. It was a race management software company based out of Florida. We did that, and we started My Race Pass, I want to say 2013 or 14 or something like that, with the driver profiles, where a lot of the drivers that might be listening to this deal have seen their profile on the app or on myracepass.com. It all started with that, back in, I think it was 2013, actually. In the fall of 15, we moved the business to Lincoln, Nebraska, solely because we got some friends down here, but solely because Lincoln and Omaha area is considered the Silicon Prairie. You've heard of Silicon Valley out in California.
Right.
All the big tech schools across the world, for that matter, would talk about this area because you could come here and get a good high paying development job, but yet you could buy a 2,000 square foot home for a couple $100,000 versus a couple million out in the West Coast, So it made sense to bring the business down here. We're based out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and we brought it down here to Lincoln, only 3 hours away. And then moved forward in the fall of 15. We hired a bunch of people and bought SpeedNet and merged the 2 companies, or all 3, into My Race Pass. And it's been a whirlwind ever since.
Yeah. Josh, I know a lot of what you guys do. I know most people recognize, My Race Pass with the tracks, but kind of tell the viewers out there what you guys offer. A lot of it's free, I know, and there's definitely some websites that cost, but kind of give us a little background there of what all you guys do offer.
Well, so on the drivers, we got a lot of things, right? So we offer a lot of stuff for a racetrack. It's a turnkey operation. I mean, we offer their online registration, ticket sales, websites for racetracks or race promoters. Then obviously a lot of the people have the My Race Pass app, and how that works is all the racetracks use the My Race Pass software for their lineups, results, that kind of point standings, and it all funnels into one spot, and that spot being the My Race Pass app. And what benefits the drivers on that is, I'm a driver myself, raced sprint cars for almost 15 years, and I'm the same story as anybody else. Grew up, didn't have any money, and in order to race, you needed to find the marketing partners on the side of the car. And so I learned real fast that if you didn't take care of the partners that were helping you, you weren't going to keep them. And even when I was a little kid, when I was 8 years old racing go-karts, I had a website, And when I was 15, 16, racing sprint cars in the sprint car world, there's a website, hoseheads.com. I was one of the only ones that sent a press release out to Alan Holland over there to get a post on that website. And I did everything I could to try to get me and my race team recognized. And that's kind of what we've been trying to do with My Race Pass is with the MRP driver profiles. You think of it like a Facebook page, right? I mean, it's the profile, your driver profile. And if you update that, you can update it now through the app. You like your bio and your bio information, your header image, your photo, like your Facebook page. But then that just gets shared throughout the entire network. So there's thousands of people in the My Race Pass app, and you can claim your profile on myracepass.com. You can add your little things like your favorite things to do and your bio and hobbies and that kind of stuff. But you can add your sponsor information in there. And when the fans are sitting in the stands, they're looking at the lineups, they're looking at the live timing, they're looking at the results, so they can tap on you, your face, so to speak, your profile, and then they can read about you. On the desktop side, you can add your schedule, so you can let the fans know where you're going to be next. And the most powerful tool behind that is, it's that much more recognition that you can. And what I said there it's all free to do. The driver can go in there and just talk about their sponsors. And I guarantee your sponsors are in the app looking at it, and they want to see an updated profile, and it just creates that engagement. It's cool to see when a fan's in the grandstands and they see a driver from, I don't know, Houston, and so they're like, well, I'm from Houston, I'm going to go talk to him afterwards. And you never know. It's just creating that connection. I always use the example that if you go to a high school football game and you don't know any kids out there playing, it's kind of fun, but if you know a handful of kids that are out there, or your buddies kids out there playing, well, then you're engaged. It's the same thing with My Race Pass and the fans in the stands, because you got to remember, over half the fans in the stands, they've never been to that track before. So it's with the drivers, we offer websites. Facebook, social media is very important, but social media is to drive traffic to your websites. Same with our profile. You want to drive traffic to your site. You want your sponsors to have some kind of a presence there and to be able to talk to them. The days of walking up to, be on this side of the fence, we could ask for sponsorship all the time. Well, the first question I asked, the same question I was asked when I was a kid. Well, what's in it for us? Because just the logo on the side of the car might not be enough. What are you going to do for us? It's a marketing partnership is what you're looking for. And you turn that relationship with a potential business into a potential marketing partner. And you're actually, working, trying to push their product and push people into their product. Yeah, that's how you gain long-lasting relationship with the marketing partnerships. And then, having a website is just another way to do that.
Sure. But like I said, I know I've used you guys. I was trying to figure it up. I think it's either 7 or 8 years, and it's been really good for me. Yeah, I know it's been. I want to say it's either 7 or 8, Josh, that I've used you guys in a lot of forums. And, I know you've always supported Racelogic, and anything I've ever wanted to do, you've always been there behind me. So, I appreciate that part of you guys, try to get back where you can too, and, help the little guy. And like I said, when I first met you, you probably had handful of websites and just a little bit going on, so to see y'all grow over the years has been, it's been a pretty cool deal for me, with everything that y'all do. I'm like the next guy. When I'm sitting at home or at a track, I'm watching results at another track. I do it every weekend. I was at the lake last weekend, and I was going through My Race Pass, checking out who's going to win, Lucas Oil Race or whatever. So, I know that's big in the race world. That's something that you guys brought on. That's really important now, where you can get live, up to date scoring and stuff. I know it's been a really big part of what y'all do.
Well, I kind of call it the Twitter effect. And what I mean by that is, with Twitter, you get your information just right now. You get a short little snippet, and people just have grown accustomed to wanting that information. I remember when I was a kid, the only thing that we had back then to get information results was National Speed Sport News. And we got it, I forget if it was Wednesday or Thursday when it showed up, but I didn't know what happened the weekend prior until I got that newspaper. And, the internet's obviously changed things a little bit, but, it's fun. This is our 13th year in business, and it's been fun to see it all kind of come together, because we all had a lot of ideas, a lot of plans, but our whole goal is to make everything better, make things easier and more efficient for the promoters, engage the fans, turn them non-race fans into diehard race fans, and give the drivers a platform to where they can promote themselves, because not all the drivers out there in the world can do it on their own dollar. And if they do, it doesn't last very long, And so, I mean, there's a lot of companies out there that want to help, and we just want to provide as most information as we can to make things as easy as possible. So, so the drivers can do what they're best at, and that's driving a race car.
Right. And, I think one of the coolest thing is most of what y'all do is free. I mean, of course the websites ain't, but, just about anything on the My Race Pass app. I mean, a lot of that stuff's free to the viewers. So, that's something cool that y'all do. That's really, that I really like, to be able to. And I know y'all added a bunch of tracks. How many tracks did you tell me earlier that y'all have now on your system?
So we are over 500 promoters across the country. And when I say promoters, that includes like a race series, like the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, and then the racetracks. So I'm not for sure how many racetracks it is. It's over 300. It's probably closer to 400 racetracks, which is kind of cool, because I mean that's nearly half of the circle tracks in the U.S. that are on My Race Pass now, and for us, it's more so just providing that platform for them to make things easier on the promoter side. But also, I mean, the drivers, man, you go to some events, and I don't know how, it sounds like I'm just saying this because I'm, one of the co-founders of My Race Pass, but I've been to some events where they don't use My Race Pass, and I'm sitting in the stands, and don't get mad at me, but, I kind of grew up around sprint car racing a bunch, and they had, I go to a modified or late model race, and there's a lot of guys I don't know who they are. And I remember sitting in the stands and looking, trying to figure out who that guy was or where they were from or what the lineup was or who was coming up next. And I tell you, the app has certainly helped a lot with that. And as a driver, you can certainly sit in your trailer and you can look and see where you're lined up at, and instead of having to walk down to the pit board or whatever. And the live timing obviously is really cool, so you can see, you can compare yourself to other drivers and whatnot. And we got more tools coming for the drivers. The drivers that are listening, there's some pretty cool stuff that we got working on with MRP Live and some different things that you can do with that. So we're excited about that. And like I said, it's just about trying to engage the race fan, because we're all a bunch of racers here. But the more race fans that understands, the more the promoters can do for us racers.
Yeah, I agree with you. And we talked earlier that COVID changed a lot of things, some good, some bad, but, being able to, maybe people couldn't travel to a race last year. So, they can pull up the My Race Pass and see the results and all. I thought that was really cool. So, I mean, technology is here to stay, whether you like it or not. So, you're either going to get on board or you're going to get left behind. So, and I agree with you. I know a track, for instance, and I know you're familiar with it. Why Not Speedway is going to you guys this year in Mississippi. And I go to that big race every year, and they struggled last year because they didn't have the time and the scoring like they needed. And I noticed this year they were using My Race Pass. So, that's just one small example that I see out there that's really going to change. It's going to change the track and, the way they score and get lineups and all that, because, they had 200 or 300 cars and they were struggling last year. So now it's going to be so much easier for them.
Well, it's always changed too, right? So, a lot of tracks when they first come on board, there's a lot of little things that, we got to learn with My Race Pass, and the same with the drivers. That was one of the hardest parts for us a few years back when, we didn't have as much of a footprint. But for the drivers that are listening, a lot of the first races of the year are coming up. There was almost 70 new tracks that came on board to My Race Pass this year alone. And so just know, the first couple of weeks, it's always changed. You got to kind of learn how things are working. But after the first year or after the first couple of races, everything usually goes pretty smooth. I use the IMCA Super Nationals as an example a lot of times. Brett Root and the team there at Boone has used us the past couple of years. That's an event where they literally have 1,000 cars all week long, and I can't, it's been with rain and whatnot and people parked in the way back 40. The app has certainly been very helpful there the past couple of years. And it's big events like that to where you really see the benefits, and even on your standard local weekly shows, but it's the big events where you really see the benefits.
Yeah, that's good stuff. And if anybody's got any questions, be sure and type them in, and I'll let Josh answer them for you while we're doing this. I know we got some people on, but Josh, I know I know y'all do a lot of websites. I mean, that's probably not your. I mean, how would a guy get a hold of you? You know, your company, if they were looking at a website or different questions. What's the easiest way?
The best way is just go to our website, myracepass.com, and then there's you click on, there's like services, and then for the drivers, you can click on drivers, and there's all this different stuff that we do, and there's a lot of little get started links to where you can click on and reach us through the contact page. Support at myracepass.com is kind of our email where a lot of team members have access to that. And so someone reaches out whether they need help with the app or need help with their driver bio or need help with their looking at getting a website or whatever. That's the best place to go. The email address, just simply support at myracepass.com. But for the drivers that are out there, if you haven't found your profile, you go to myracepass.com. On the upper left-hand corner is a little search bar. You can search for your name. And if you've raced at a track, I mean, more than likely your name is in the system unless this is your first year racing. Especially if you race at a track that's, uses MyRacePass. But if you can find your name, you click on it, then there's a spot there to claim your profile. You claim your profile, and that's free to do. You fill out your name, your phone number, your email address, and create your MyRacePass account. And then you can start updating your profile, updating your bio, your sponsor information, that kind of stuff. And you guys take advantage of it because it's, it's free. And there's literally thousands of people in the app on any given time during the weekend, so that's one of the best ways. Then the kind of website will kind of explain different packages that are available. And we got a really cool apparel program to where you can, it's a drop ship thing to where you never run out of colors, never run out of sizes, and then your fans can go and buy a shirt. And we've got designs for as little as $100, and you got to be essential plan, which is $72 a year, $9 a month. And we have a lot of drivers that take advantage of that. And, you can buy them yourself at your own cost, at your own wholesale rate. Otherwise, when fans buy it, we print that shirt, we ship it directly to the fan. They get it within 10 to 14 business days. And then we just put the profits in your bank account once a month. So it's a pretty easy way to sell some shirts. And, it's a real fun little story with that. I'll make it quick because we had a kid that was racing sport compacts. And he didn't know for sure what he wanted to do for a shirt. And this is a couple years ago. And we were like, well, why don't you put your sponsor right big on the front and put your number on the back and, just go from there and see what happens. And it wasn't an hour after we launched the shirt and he put it on social media that his sponsor bought 100 of those shirts. Not knowing, the kid didn't know he was going to do that. And I think he made like $6.50 a t-shirt. So he made more money on that t-shirt sale than did all year racing sport compacts, So he was
right.
He was jazzed, and it's a cool program. And you got to be an MRP subscriber member, which is, you can do it for $9 a month, which also comes with everything in the app, so comes with our fantasy racing, which is new this year. You're going to see a lot of fun stuff coming with that. But our apparel program is really cool. And then, of course, we do the hero cards, and we do websites, and we do, all sorts of things. So you just got to check us out at myracepass.com to kind of learn a little bit more.
Yeah, I've done a lot of that in the past and plan on doing more. You guys really do offer some cool stuff with the apparel program, hero cards. I'll print stuff for me through the years, and it is a cool deal. I mean, what y'all do is not like anything else in the market, So I'm sure at some point somebody will be trying to copy something, but you guys seem to have the corner marketed on a lot of what you do, and y'all always step ahead of everybody else, and I think that's important.
Well, I think I like to attribute that to, we have such a good team. We've got a good group of people that are working with us, and a lot of us have racing backgrounds. And we also on purpose bring in people that don't have racing backgrounds because we went on with some outside kind of direction on how we're doing some things. But I've had racetracks, and my two partners, Ross and Zach, are some of the biggest race fans I know. And Ross and I actually raced go-karts for a little while. Fun with that, and so we're out and about. We're trying to learn from the drivers, learn from the promoters, learn from the race fans, and doing whatever we can to make a difference.
Sure. Yeah, and I know I get to see you guys 3 or 4 times a year at the Chili Bowl and PRI, and I know you go to Kate Dillon's deal, this year, and so I know y'all's out and about too, a lot during the year, and you get to see a lot of the fans and people that just don't know. But I think it's really cool what you said earlier. I think most racers don't know they can go in and update their profile. I don't think they realize that, because sometimes I forget about it. So I think it's important that they go in there and update that, because I know I've clicked on a name before, and then you get to do it, drop down. You kind of get to know more about them, who sponsors them. So, I think that's important for everybody viewing right now to go to My Race Pass and update your profile to get your sponsors and everything on there.
Yeah, the best thing to do there is you go to myracepass.com, search for your name in the upper left-hand corner, and once you claim it, then you go back into the My Race Pass app, and you can click on the menu and you can search for your name. And then if you're logged in with the same account, well, then you can scroll to the bottom of your profile, and there's like an update profile in there. And right in the app, you can take a picture and update your profile image. You can take a picture and update the header image, and then another nice thing is you can favorite your own profile, and then you go on your favorites. Like, you can favorite tracks and series. That way, you only follow your favorites or whatever, and then you always have it there available. And you'd be surprised at how much traffic gets on driver profile, the actual profile pages on a race night. I mean, the fans want to know who you are and where you're coming from and what you're doing, and you're an influence. And the kids out there, especially, the younger kids, they look up to the drivers. They want to be you. And they want to know what you're doing. They want to know where you're going. They want to know where you've been. And the other nice thing is if you're racing at a track that uses My Race Pass, your results get updated automatically. So we have some drivers that never haven't claimed their profile yet, but they have 5, 6, 7, 8 years of results in their profile. So that alone, when I was racing, when I was a kid, 6 years old, racing go-karts. I got some trophies on the wall, but I don't remember where that was from or where it was at or anything like that. It's fun now being in business for around for the last 13 years. We got some kids that started out when we were first getting rolling, and their whole database of results is in their profile, and that's pretty cool. So it's easy to do, and it's free to do. So take advantage of it.
Absolutely. And like I said, if anybody out there has got any questions, I won't keep Josh much longer. I know he took an evening out here to spend it on here with me, but if you got any questions, be sure and type them in and let him get them answered why I got him on here. Because all these people who come on with me, I appreciate them doing it more than y'all know, because I know you got things you need to be doing right now, and to come on 10 or 15 minutes and talk about what y'all do, I think it's important, because not everybody out there understands My Race Pass or what it's about, or any of the companies, or any of my marketing partners or whatever that they don't always know what your company offers. So I do appreciate you coming on and spending a few minutes with me, for sure.
Well, and I appreciate having me, Brian. I admire what you've done and what you're continuing to do. And for me, we don't get an opportunity like this to do the one-on-ones in different parts of the country. This Facebook Live thing has been cool. I've done a couple of them the past few months, and this is, for anybody that has a question, don't hesitate to ask anything. You're not going to hurt my feelings. You're not going to upset me if you got something want to talk about. But the other thing too is, if you need help with anything, just remember that email address, the support@myracepass.com. We literally have a team of people that access that, so they can help you. But no, Brian, this is fun, and I'm more than willing to come on this anytime. I love doing these things because it's fun to reach out and fun to talk to the people, whether they might watch this later or they might watch it a year from now, who knows, and it's just fun to put a face. I'm sure sometimes a lot of you don't know who's behind the scenes with My Race Pass. It's unfortunate we don't get to have our entire team on here sometimes, but just know that we really care about the sport, and we're doing everything we can to help as much as we can, and trying to make things easier, more fun, and give you guys a way to, a platform to help promote yourselves that much more. And so it's fun to be on here.
Right. And I know also that you guys do offer some advertising. So anybody out there that's got a business that would like to advertise with y'all, that they can also do that as well. I don't know a lot about that side of it, but I know you guys do offer some of that stuff. If a business is looking to get seen in front of thousands of racers, you're also offered to do that. You can do that.
Yeah, we just launched a new company end of last year called My Race Pass Digital Ads, MRP Digital Ads for short, and We recently hired a guy named Jim Sweener. He was the director of business and marketing over at Racing Junk, which everybody's all familiar with Racing Junk. He just came on board about a month ago, and he's actually based out of Massachusetts. So you talked about COVID. We have a pretty cool office downtown Lincoln, but we haven't been there since March 19th of last year. So it's we got another guy, Austin, who just started. He's out of Iowa, and Jim lives in Massachusetts. But you'll definitely see all of us around at all the different shows, and if you're curious on the advertising thing, I mean, that's just mrpdigitalads.com, and you can see what different options are available there for you.
Right. Well, like I said, Josh, I think everybody may be shy tonight asking questions. Maybe we scared them away tonight, but I think you was pretty straightforward in what you guys offer and what you do. And I think it's exciting, all the new tracks you got coming on and the support that you're giving back to the racers. It's important to me. I'm just a little guy out here, but I always tell everybody I'm a nobody, but I know some people that are somebody. So I try to get them on and, let people see what, all these companies got real people behind the scenes. They're just the average guy that, like yourself, that just started out racing and end up building what you have today. I always think that's cool stories. I've had several on, Dave Hammond Motorsports. I know you know him, and Pit Skylights. A lot of them guys that just was a little guy out here, kind of like me, had a little dream that something they want to do in racing, and they worked hard and built something really cool. So I always thought that was important to see guys like yourself that kind of started with nothing and is really grew a business to where it's at now.
I don't know what I would do if it wasn't for my race pass. I built grain bins for a lot of years. I built grain bins all over the country, and I learned that that's a lot of hard work. And doing this deal here has been fun. It keeps me in the sport. I miss driving. I miss racing a big car, but I'm getting older now, and I probably don't need to do that anymore. But I do miss it. I do, like I said earlier, my business partner Ross and I do some asphalt road course go-kart stuff, and that was fun. But man, I sure get the urge to get on dirt again. And who knows? Maybe one of these days I'll try it. And if I go and yard sale myself across out of the park or something, then I'll learn. I probably shouldn't have done that. But I definitely love. I'm actually building a sprint car in the shop now, and not for me to race. I don't think. Maybe we'll see. I'm going to finish building it and see where I'm at with that. But I got a 1967 Buick Special out there that I've had since 2001, and I work on that, and then with my race pass, it keeps me in the industry and I get to meet. I mean, we're all one big giant family. That's what's so cool about this industry, the motorsports industry, and it's definitely fun to be a part of it the way we are.
Yeah, I agree. That's the biggest thing with me is I've met so many good people that I've been friends with forever. I mean, my first class that I ever done 21 years ago now. I've been 21 years. One of my best friends to this day, he come to the first class I ever done. And we're still, I talk to him once, 2 or 3 times a week, So, this racing deal's been, if you don't live it, you don't understand it, I think, sometimes, There's so many good people out there and guys like yourself and just, everybody in the industry. I think some people get intimidated a little bit, but, we're all the same, We're all just some little guy out there just trying to make a living and enjoy what we do,
Yeah, I'm no different than anybody else. If I'm walking through the pits and you guys are hanging around drinking a beer or something, invite me in. I'd be more than willing to sit down and have one with you.
Yeah, sure.
That's what part of it. That's what makes it fun.
Well, Josh, like I said, man, I know you need to get off, and I do too. And man, I sure appreciate you coming on, and we'll definitely get back with you later on in the year and kind of see how things are going and some of the new things that you're offering. And I appreciate all the support you gave me over the last 8 years and that you continue to do with Racelogic. It don't go unseen for sure.
Well, I really appreciate it, Brian. Thank you for having us on. Thank you for promoting my race pass the way you do. You're doing a great thing there with the seminars and webinars that you're doing. So keep it up. Like I said earlier, we hear from it all over the country. So you're definitely making an impact on what you're doing. So it's keep that up and keep up the good work. And for everybody listening, thanks for taking a few minutes and watching here and just we can kind of go from there. Just remember, hashtag get the app, my race pass. Search on the Google Play or the App Store.
Okay, good deal. Listen, Josh, I'll get you back on in a couple of months or so, and we'll see how it is. And I'm sure I'll see you, at a racetrack down the street or PRI or something. And take care, and I'll see you soon, bud.
That sounds good, Brian. Thanks again for having us on.
Thank you. All right, appreciate it.